Haha! Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. Hello, Graham. Ooh, I'm on 227 now. Excellent. Thank you very much. Pardon me. I know I'm a bit late. That's because I couldn't find my phone, which is still not set up. So I'm still gonna have to go and sort that out now. Hopefully, you're gonna send me a message. There we go. Is that the right one? I hope that's the right one. There we go. I have 3 new emails. And one of them is, hopefully one of them is the right one. Ah, there it is. Good evening, Buzzard. Good evening. How you doing, Chief? You alright? I hope you're doing well. I hope all your plans have been going alright. I know you've been having a few plans. Right, let's come and join everybody in portrait mode. If anyone's in there, I'm not sure if anyone's actually in there, but I'll go over and join them anyway. Hello, Budzilla. Hello, welcome in, mate. Welcome in. Right, now that I've set myself up to some degree, right, I have my all-purpose poly filler, which is going to fill in all the gaps, because I tried to make a prism out of triangles, and to put it a nice way, it didn't work out. Titus has not landed yet, Graham. Titus has not landed, but we have had a confirmation from the post office that we're supposed to be getting some deliveries tomorrow, because they couldn't deliver them today, apparently. So hopefully Titus will land tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do the prism bit on here. Now, I still want to use these guns to go kind of surround the prism, but seeing as I messed up so much with the actual clay bit, I decided I'm just going to beat it out of this and then cover it in polyfiller, wait for it to dry. While I'm waiting for that to dry, fill in bits on the actual model itself, because there's a couple of little bits under here and a couple of other sections that I'd like to fill in a little bit while I'm waiting for that to dry. Once that's dry, I can then glue these onto it. Now there are 5 sets, hopefully all 5 will do. But to beat it into submission, I've got this. Now I'm going to use that section, not that section, don't worry. But it does mean I've got to sit here beating the crap out of my desk for a minute. It's actually probably going to be a better idea if I move this tray with all this clattery stuff out of the way. Because it was very noisy. And then I just bash out of it on my desk. So, when I say I'm really beating this into a prism, I'm actually beating this into a prism. Or as much of a prism as I can with an axe. Which means I've got to try and get that bit down there really pointy. And hopefully into some kind of rightish shape. Now, I've got a feeling this doesn't want to work. Hello, good evening. I noticed neither one of us did particularly well last night on the Dorito and Lucha Cabaret races. Now, hopefully this is gonna, as I said, I'm gonna fill it in with polyfiller. EB, how's your ears, man? How's your ears? Hopefully they are doing well. Hopefully you're not too kerfuddled and messed up with it. Right, so we've got a rough-ish, kind of very rough pyramid-y type shape. So I've got a feeling I'm going to have to cut some of this off, so hopefully the blade's going to work. And I'm not going to chop my fingers off, because that would be a bad thing, wouldn't it? That would be a very bad thing to chop my fingers off. But it is only tinfoil, so in theory a craft knife should go through it. Especially if I'm nice enough to do it on my cutting mat. Now, there are a few things, particularly for you, Mr. Roseden Hobbies, that I do need to speak about. Not so much as I need to speak about on stream, but I do need to talk to you. Everything still sounds 10 foot away and underwater. That's not good, Evie. That is not good, dude. Make sure you get your rest and get yourself sorted out so we can... Hopefully by the time then, both of us will be alright in a reasonable condition and we'll be able to actually get the next part of that little set that you want to do. Which I believe is using stratagems. I believe it's using stratagems. In case everyone's wondering, I'm the person helping the Eclectic Beard with his Warhammer trip and journey. Right, so we have what is essentially going to be the focal point now to slot in somewhere along the head of the actual Triceratops, which does kind of make him a bit unicorn-ish. But hopefully once we've polyfillered and done other things, it won't look as bad. So let's get the polyfiller out. Roll my sleeves up on my new jumper because I don't want to get that full of polyfiller. I will get shouted at. I've not even had this a week yet, so I don't want to wreck it yet. Give it at least a year first before I start messing it about. How is everybody, by the way? Because I've not spoke to many people over the last week. With myself not being too well and other people themselves not being well, it doesn't help. So I've not spoken to many. So how is everybody? Are you all doing alright? Are you okay? Is there any new news that you'd like to share? Anything that you're thinking, no, you nosy sod, you can bugger off? Getting some fuzzy feedback when I talk. Does that mean that I've turned that up way too loud? See, I've got to make sure it picks me up more than the television. Hopefully that, if I've turned it down a little bit and I'll lower my voice a bit, hopefully that helps. I mean, some of the ringing might have been from me smacking the desk. Now, I've got to get this on here and we've got to get it smoothed out. So, sorry, I didn't even have it on the portrait cam then, did I? So, with essentially a lollipop stick. We're applying polyfiller to the outside, just so we can get it all smoothed and not lumpy like the tinfoil is going to be. Hopefully I've managed to sort out whatever that little bit of a feedback is that Graham was mentioning. It might just be because I was talking slightly louder than normal. I do have the television in the background, so I do want to cover that up as much as possible so I don't get copyrighted from the channel that it's on. Because they are one of those that will copyright you just for having things on in the background. So that's ours, you're not allowed to use that. Yes, I know, I'm not using it, it was just on. It had nothing to do with the stream whatsoever, so go away. But they won't listen to that, they will just stamp their feet and kick up a fuss and get what they want, as they always do. Because they throw money behind it. Okay, so fingers crossed that now will be able to be smoothed out. Once it's dried a bit, I can kind of sand it afterwards. Just got to be careful of the metal flakes that'll come off it as well, because obviously sanding tinfoil doesn't help. Last little bit just to finish off down there. Perfect. Okie dokie. So that's that bit done, and we'll just stand that up to dry. Then that can get sanded and made into the correct shape with the gun tippy things going down. So me talking loud was actually good for you, EB, but everybody else is getting feedback. Right, fair enough. If that's how it's working, that's how it's working. I don't have much control about what goes on the other side. I can only control on my side, which is fun, to say the least. Right, now where do I need to fill? So we've got this big gap under the front here, which, let's face it, we don't want that big gap under the front there. But we also don't want to cover up too much of the details that we've put in, such as the gun tips and the cloaks. So we don't want to cover up the cloaks, we don't want to cover up the guns, but we do want to cover up the section underneath so it doesn't look as hollowed out and open and empty. So again, getting a bit of another tool. I don't know, before anyone says, I know these ones sat in front of the camera. I know. Hi. Welcome in, Ali. Hello. How are you doing? I hope you've had a good weekend. It is you and Zilla in the portrait mode at the moment. And I believe Graham, Beaky and EB and Lee are over in the horizontal cam. So get that in there. There we go. That should fill that section in. Hopefully enough. Using a bit of finger work just to help smooth out the bits where it actually joins. Right, remove it off the mold line remover. We need to get rid of all that. Oh good, glad you had a good weekend. I've had an interesting day today. Today has been all about photography for the wedding. And I didn't realise just how many photos people actually expect on a wedding day. I didn't realise people like 500 to 800 photos. Like, really? That's a lot of photos. I don't think I want to put that much pressure on Dave, to be quite honest. I can only think of 15 that I actually want. The rest of them is probably just going to be him going clicky happy. Right. While I wait for them two to dry, I do have another thing that needs fillering. And it's not for tonight, it's for Thursday. But seeing as I'm waiting for drying times, it kind of makes sense to get it on, really, doesn't it? Seeing as it's got to dry itself. So it's a lot of drying times, a lot of scraping and fillering tonight. But for this, I do need to be very careful while I'm pulling this off, because I do need to put some polyfiller on this as well. So hey, sneak peek. If anyone's not seen a Thursday before, this is what I work on a Thursday. So just for those of you who only catch Mondays or Wednesdays for the 40k stuff, this is the D&D stuff I do on Thursdays. Good evening, Mick. Good evening. Yes, please, mate. Yes, please. Just wait till I clean my hands off and I will take that from you. So I fill in that gap down at the bottom of this section, but I also wish to fill in the top of this section as well. So in this case it's got to be all around here. And obviously using the tiniest little spodgy tool that I've got, because that makes sense, doesn't it? To just use the smallest thing that you've actually got to do this. And I can't have it overlapping too much onto the actual lollipop sticks, because otherwise then the characters won't be able to stick on, or sit on there, should I say. But I do need to fill in all the bloody gaps where it doesn't meet properly. Now there will be grass tufts going in there when I paint it over the Thursday, because it should be dry by then. So that's when I'll definitely be painting this up. And then push this in over. Just to smooth in around that edge of the... Ideally I don't want it to get on the top of it, I just want it to be underneath. And because the top's already been, well, paper textured. It's not actually got any texture on it, but it is coloured already, so it's painted, and as far as I would need to do anything on there, it's done. So really I don't want to be getting any of this onto the top section, which I have been overlapping a little bit. But I do want to get some to fill the gap in around here. I don't want it flat, so tapping it with my thumb just to add something to it. Whew. Is my phone near my... Well, mic's there, my phone's down there. So, yeah, you can actually... That's my phone, right? See that there? See? That's my phone. So yes, my phone is near my microphone, but my phone's always muted, except for that. I've not done that this time. There we go. I've just noticed something you've said on Discord, Graham. The Eldar stratagems. Yeah, I got them twice as well. I got them with the last one, where I think I should have got the Votan stratagems. They've given us another set of Eldar stratagems, which is all well and good for the Eldar players, but I could have done with a few Votan stratagems, in fairness. Just so I know what they're like, because I'm going to need to use them in the future. Mainly on Tabletop Simulator, but I'm still going to need them. I need to know what they are. But I could do with the full Codex versions rather than just the combat patrol sections. Is that kind of feedback? Right, okay. Where are they? See, the only way I can hear it is if I actually put my headphones on. And why is my headphones not working? Why are my headphones not working? Yes, I do, Mick. I do have that on in the background. Is it picking it up? I am sorry about that. If it is picking up my television. Not sure why, but my microphone isn't coming back through my headphones, which it normally does. Because this is what normally throws me off. I can hear my own voice. So let's just double check that. Yeah, volume is working on my... Right, so you can hear the TV in the background. Sorry, people, if you was looking forward to finding out later. If you're looking forward to finding out results or whatever was going on that later, I am sorry. Sparkles is watching it right now. So, as Mick has just told me, you can hear it. I've been trying my best to try and keep that down. And this will be the first time it's actually been able to be heard. It's been on every night that I've streamed when I'm a Celebrity should be on. It's been on in the background. So why he's picking up tonight, I don't know. Why didn't he pick it up the other times? That's confusing. That is very confusing. He should have picked it up all the other times as well, but he didn't. And he's picked it up this time, which is irritating. Right, let's get the last bit in at the bottom down there. And there we go. We're all filled in now when it comes to that floor. So all the base and round. I've just spotted a great big whopping slop on the top, which needs to be sorted. So yeah, great. When you get a chance to, mate, can you give me a call or a message when I'm not streaming? And you're not working. Just so we can have a little bit of a chat and possibly sort out the last few details that I need to sort out for you. And then once that's done, we're sorted. You want to see Ruby Wax eat a kangaroo's todger or Jack Osborne drinking blended cows with the JJs? Well, it is weird, Mick, so you might get that. You might get that. I believe Ruby's not been doing too many challenges due to her age and health concerns.
She didn't eat.
Yeah, but that's an eating challenge. What we're doing is the physical stuff. She's going to be exempt from most of that.
I know. I'm just saying that she ate.
So Ruby's already ate some. Ooh. Did she eat a kangaroo's todger? Alright. So you maybe still been with Chance yet, Mick. Apparently she's already done an eating challenge, but can't remember if it was a todger or not. Okay. So now that bit's done, I can move him out of the way. So you can go over there and dry. What I'm trying to figure out is why can't I hear my own voice when I usually can? You forgot about it again, Ali. What you'd like, eh? What you like? It's on now, quick. It's been on for about an hour. Should be able to catch it on +1. The eating challenges are probably the better challenges. That whatever that other, what's she called, Vogue, where she had to do a mini wipeout course. That was just useless. That was pointless. That was absolutely ridiculous of a challenge. That wasn't a challenge. That was just having a woman do wipeout. Can't be a good cup of tea. Right, so how are we doing on this now? Is this? It's very cold to the touch. It still feels slightly damp. So that is not good. That is not good. We have plenty of stuff to be doing though, so don't you worry. So if we get Mr. Dinosaur back and knock that little bit off there. We also have the big studs. Well, you can always catch it tomorrow and catch up, Ali. There's always time. You can always binge it over the weekend, providing you've not caught all the information and all the stuff beforehand. The one thing you will want to do is sit and wait for a program and go, right, I'm going to watch all of that, and then 20 minutes before you actually sit down to watch it, something pops up on television and ruins a lot for you. Right. So while we are waiting, and before Ali goes to bed, along the green strap we do have what is essentially 4 on each side of these little blue gem, well, little blue pieces of clay that I'm going to be painting as gems. Let's get it right, they're not actually gems, but that's what I'm going to be using as. Now I need something to get the super glue in. Once again, I don't want it all over my bloody hands, which is how it usually ends up for some strange, bizarre reason. Even when I do try and get something to put super glue in, it usually ends up on my bloody hands. So I'm going to use this, which is cleanable afterwards. It's just a little, like, tray thing. I think it's for a puzzle Pokeball, but I'm not 100% sure. Open the super glue. Hopefully it's going to come out. Nope. Should have known better, shouldn't I? That is a good question. Are you still enjoying the new job, Ali? Is it still nice, new and fresh? Or is it got to the point where, no, it's like my old job now. It's just going and doing motions, getting paid, come on. Alright, now I need to try and open this up. Usually it's done with a pin like so. Yep, that's definitely worked because I saw a droplet of glue on the end. Put a little bit of glue in there. Get the right white thing, not the wrong white thing. See, it's a job, so yeah. Ali's already turned it into what was her last job. Is yeah. It gives me money. Alright, I should just go grab a little pair of tweezery things so I don't, again, get my hands covered in super. Well, they're not exactly tweezers, they're more like little pliers, see? Nippy, 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 nippy. And then pick one up, dip it in the glue. We try our best to position it without it getting stuck to everything bloody else. So that's one. And this is the hard bit because if you grip it too much, then you end up getting glue all over the pliers and you just get stuck to the pliers. Or it ends up on the side and ends up getting stuck all to your thumb. As it has done with me. Such a fun job. There we go. That's 2. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me. 3. And last one. If I can actually pick it up, that is. 4. So now it has the 4 little doppy things on it. No worries, Ali. Thank you very much for calling in. You have a good night and hope you have fun tomorrow in work. Don't push it too hard. They don't pay you enough. So just remember that they don't pay you enough to be pushing your job too much. I don't care how much they're paying you, it's still not enough. Ah, stuck to my finger again. Stuck to my finger. Ah, Silvers, hello. Hello. How you doing, Chief? Okay, this one just does not want to go on. Nope, that one does not want to fit on there at all. Same as that cloak has just come loose. See that one there? Now wiggling. It's not supposed to be wiggling. Tap off anything that's on these. That one went on too easy, I'm worried. As did that one. On that. They went on far too easily, I'm worried. No, the Prism silvers was a complete and utter catastrophe. So what I've ended up doing is beating a essentially long pyramid out of tinfoil and I've covered it in filler for now to give it a roughly smoothish coating, and then I'm going to glue some Eldar guns around the outside and make it look a bit more not crap like that, so it doesn't look like I've got a unicorn Triceratops. Now I've cut off 5, but I think I'm going to only end up using 4, but each side should be getting one of those on. So hopefully it will end up, once they've all been glued on down the sides, it should look a little bit more Eldar-y. That's the idea anyway. We'll see if it works. There's no point where we can't try it now, I suppose. It might pull it all apart, so I might have to do it again, but it wouldn't be the first time I've had to do something twice, just because I got a bit overzealous. It should go on like that, and when it has all 4 round it, it'll go on to the actual head of the Triceratops there, with these coming hopefully from within some section of the actual back section itself and clipping into in some way the actual prism. It's not easy. I've figured out that this kit bashing stuff is not easy in any way, shape or form. So we need super glue again. I've discovered that much. We need super glue again, because that's no good for, that is not very good for flat things. This, however, should be. If we just drop a little bit in there, let that dry, and then I can turn it, glue, turn it, glue, turn it. You get the idea. I'm still not sure whether or not I want to use some of this instead and just have it arching out and over, because that is nice and energy looking, isn't it? So to have it coming out from there, having it arching, I think I'm going to go with that, you know, instead of the 2 spindly ones. I think I'm going to go with what did come with the Inade or whatever she's called. Goddess of Death. Mr. Man. Yeah, WD-40 for the win. WD-40 stops us squeaking. WD-40 lets our knees move. WD-40 also cleans the PC. How you doing, mate? You okay? Glad to have you in. It does help to stop squeaking. Squeaking is not a good thing. Especially when you're walking down the street. You don't want your knees going at it. Or your elbows when you have pretty much your entire body when you get to my age. And I know there's some of you that are older than me. Don't worry, I've not forgotten. But your body creaks as well. I stuck to my thumb and that's not coming off. There we go. Right, so pop that one on that side. And then again, pop a little bit of glue on it. The phone has stopped the feedback. Awesome. Awesome. I don't know why it was doing feedback. I really don't. It might have been picking up my headphones actually. No worries, you enjoy your nut, mate, and enjoy your food as well, of course. Food's always a good one to enjoy. So here I am with 2 more guns to glue onto the prism. I've just got to line the damn things up first. And then hopefully it's going to nicely click into where it's going to stay, which it has done so far. Let's pop a bit of that on, and then last one to go in on this side. Oh, I've realised I should have actually zoomed in for this, shouldn't I, really? So, get the LDAG gun. Pop it into the rough place. It's not going to be exact, it's going to shift because it's just the nature of trying to balance something. It never stays where you want it to. And we hold it. Well, we stop touching it is essentially how we hold it. And we drip more than enough bloody glue onto it to make sure it stays there forever and ever and ever and a day. I've never figured out, to be quite honest, Mr. Mount, why we make those weird grunts that and those weird ones. Yeah, I've never figured out. I've been making them since I was a teenager. That's got nothing to do with my age. That's just me being a dozy git. I was also much heavier when I was a kid, so it's a lot more weight to shift. Now it's just, yeah, I'm old. Now I'm just old. So hopefully this is gonna work right and be the prism. I hope it works. I've had the idea in my head for bloody ages, it's just getting it to actually go in and do it. That's just rolled right off the front of him. So now is a really big question. Now, do I try and mount it between the horns, like so? Or do I mount it as a unicorn horn on the front of his head? So do we have it like that and basically have him as a big fucking unicorn? Or do I mount it? If I mount it from the front of his head to the front of his head, then how am I gonna mount that on? That's the question. So I can put that like that, and it would then be essentially arcing the energy from the back behind his neck over into the gun on the top, and then that's been the focal point, and ba-boom. I've glued enough of my... See, gluing your body parts together, Mr. Man, is not a great idea. That's how I fixed my finger that's how I fixed my thumb. That's why I've now got a nice scar across the back of it. Because I super glued it back rather than getting it stitched. Because I'm smart, really clever. Lots of pressure. They say I've done an alright job. They're not going to do anything, just whack a bit of super glue on. Job done. I'm still not sold on putting it between the horns. I'm still not sold on that. I do know I don't want to put this bit on until after I've based it, because I do actually like that colour. I like how that looks, so I want to try and keep that if I can. But I'm actually thinking that might be the better option, is to... No, it will be the better option to mount it in the middle there, won't it? It just makes more sense for it to be mounted in between the horns. And then have the power coming from various places. It just does. To me it does anyway, so I'm gonna glue it in place. I'm gonna get past the point of no return. I'm just gonna glue it in place now. And then it's done, and I can't whinge about it. Because I've already done it. And there we have what will be the prism part of the fire prism. I'm a Celebrity's not on anymore. So that means I can hopefully, without getting into too much trouble from Sparkles, plug my hairbrush in and have a go at base coating this thing, eh? So I have my hairbrush, but it's not on the right lead. And which lead is it supposed to be on? Because I only have one feed hose for my airbrush. That is a Triceratops. That is a Triceratops. It is for my Exodite Elder. I know it's not quite what you would expect to have for a fire prism, but keep coming to the channel. You'll find out that I very rarely do things in the normal way. It's just not for me. I need the compressor to be moved out of here and then be plugged in. Compressor plug in. What's my plug? Oh, my plug's caught on something. What the bloody hell is my plug? There it is. And it was caught on my headphones. Of course it was. Why wouldn't it be caught on my headphones? They never go near each other. So that makes perfect sense. Oh, not again. Yeah, clippers. That's twice these have broke like this. I will fix them tomorrow. when I am not trying to set up an airbrush and other things. Now, where's the paint gone? No! Where's my paint gone? I do have some pre-mixed. There it is. Thought I'd missed it. I thought I'd lost it. I have not. It is right next to my phone. There. My audio keeps cutting out and off, Mr. Man. Does it? Ah, no. Dang it. Why does my audio keep cutting out? The phone type feedback has stopped. Thank you very much. See you later, Silvers. Awesome. And I don't know. I mean, my audio might cut out when I move away, which is usually what would happen. If I turn away a little bit, it does tend to not like it. It really doesn't like it when I turn my head away. So I'm trying to keep it right in the position where I need to. My head moving, but I have my face right into the mic. It usually works alright. So first I'll just check that I have actually got a clear airbrush, which I do. And then remember that last time I did this without some kind of protection, I got paint over a load of models that I didn't want to. So, where's my airbrushing box gone? Have I thrown it away by mistake? Possibly. Or is it this one under here? No, this one feels like it's got stuff in it. This one does have stuff in it, but it is also my airbrushing box. So let's take all the things that it's got in it out of it, because they shouldn't be in there. And put them on that tray for now. Ooh, big guns. Very big guns. They must be off the Aquila strong point or something like that. Right, so I have my box to at least attempt to spray things in without getting it all over my desk. I certainly don't want to get any on Lavarus or onto Let's Go. No. Or Angry Run for that matter, because all three of them are there. I know I'm supposed to use something to cover my mouth. So we squirt some paint into that. This is one of the very rare occasions that I'm using an airbrush on camera. And I have used a big one for this one purposely just so I can mask coat it really quickly. I mean ridiculously quickly. See? I wanted that job done fast. Which is why I've used this airbrush instead of the other one, which would have required me to go get it and put it all back together, but it wouldn't have been as... Yeah, it's much thinner. It's the 0.2, that one. Right, how am I going to pick this up again? First of all, we... blast that if we can. And then we find the leg that I was holding a minute ago. Try and pick him up. And give him a bit blast, turn him round. Now the weird thing is this seems to separate. I don't know why. There. Naughty, naughty lack of PPE. Yes, I know. Graham, you should know this by now. PPE is not something I do very often. Or very well. Right. So, the fact that I've even mentioned it should be shocking enough. Now, we're going to use this as a dry faster machine as well. Just so we can get it to try and do exactly that and dry a bit faster. Also blow some of the excess paint where it's pulled a little bit too much, and we get it to flow down and actually go into the sections where it's supposed to go. Rather than just hitting the high spots like it likes to sometimes. Got the back of his head, got that. I'm going to need to try and get underneath him, and I'm not sure how. Right, if I pick him up from here, and we try what we can to get underneath him from there, and hopefully we don't get too much overspray everywhere else. That is what we're hoping for, is not too much overspray. Now, this is not the greatest airbrush in the world, in case somebody's thinking that you can get a better airbrush to do that. And yeah, I know, but I'm not good enough with an airbrush just yet, so I still need more practice. So while I'm getting practice, I'll use cheap ones. And then if I ever actually think, you know, I'm good enough with these now, then I might think about getting one of the slightly more expensive ones. But for now, I'm going to use a cheap one and get it all over my hands and everywhere else. I do see a little tiny bit there that I missed, which is down one of the legs, and a tiny little bit more of paint, and then I can finish him. I can finish him off properly. But only a tiny bit more paint, because it's just a small section down there that needs doing, and a small section down there, as well as that green does not like getting covered. There we go. Undo the airbrush, turn off the compressor so we're not just getting flooded with air, and I'm just going to go give this a bit of a rinse out so it doesn't get all clogged up. As you will know if you've used airbrushes, you don't want them clogged up at all. Give this a chance to dry now that it's all one flat colour, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, that has now been sufficiently cleaned so that I can run it through the Oh, what's it called? Ultrasonic cleaner. Ultrasonic cleaner, that's what I need to run it through. Now, where'd that towel go? Okie days. We've had a reasonably good start for today. I've got more done than what I intended to, or what I thought was going to get done in an hour anyway. Just unplug the compressor and put it back down out of the way so nobody can get over it, hold of it, and trip over the damn thing. We don't want people tripping over my compressor and wires. It's bad enough that I have other stuff behind me and scattered all over that people can trip over. I don't want them tripping over anything that's actually breakable. And I don't want them tripping up at all if I can help it, but you know, we do what we can. And then we wait again for our favourite part of the entire hobbying process, drying time. We've got to wait for drying time. So, what do we do while we wait for drying time? I'm not sure. Does anyone want to talk about anything? Anyone got any questions? Please feel free. Because I've got to wait for this to dry off so I can then glue this piece to him somehow. Yeah. That's as much as he's getting. Somehow I'm going to end up attaching this going to the front of. So it's probably going to come from the back there and end up over the front. Somewhere like that. Ish. Now I could take extra bits off. So if I can just remove this bit because I know this bit's loose. So I can take smaller pieces off and have them arcing out and round. Which means I'll have to take this piece off as well. Yep, you heard me. I've got to take this piece off as well, which is, to say the least, difficult. Which means snippy snips. Snip, 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 snip. Where's my snips? Oh, there they are. I found my snips. Look at that. Taking chunks off the bottom of this base. And hopefully then I can remove it quite. Put a snip in there. And that piece should come off as well. That gives me another nice long bit. I think that's pretty much all I'm going to get off that base now, but it does leave with this nice big base for other projects in the future, which I'm quite happy about because I like them bits. And I've got a couple of energy bits to help put the emphasis on the actual fire prism. Fire prism. Even though it is a Triceratops. The fun side part about running exercises, I do need to try and get a lot more Raptors though to replace my bikes. Not sure how I'm going to get 15 of the same size Raptor. But I'll have a go, I suppose. In fact, let's speak to Graham. Have you got any Raptors that are about 2 to 3 inches tall and about 3 inches long? Thank you. Yes, I'm assuming everybody who's watch the YouTube channel or watch the live stream knows to do the likey, subscribey thingy, bobby effort to help with the algorithm, because the algorithm is the all-powerful one here on YouTube, isn't it? It's the one that decides. It's the one that says. It's the one who shows you to people if it wants to, and if it doesn't want to, then you don't get to see new people, because algorithm is a pain. I don't like anyone called Al. Just Al is a wrong name. Ali, perfectly fine, because he's short for Alison. But Al? Oh, that's a good idea. 3D Cult 3D or Thingiverse, and see if I can find raptors. I really only need a set of 3, and then I can print it off 5 times, and then I can put riders on them. And then that'll give me a load of bike bits, won't it? Ooh, that means I can make more tanks. And yes, I'm thinking Arc tanks out of Eldar bits before anyone thinks, well, you're doing Exodites, you want dinosaurs, you can't make more tanks. I'm going to make Arc tanks out of Eldar bits. But that is a very good point. Cults 3D. CULTS 3D, enter. And we have to do this. And if we do this and then do that, you should hopefully be able to see what I'm looking at. Now, I'll find out once I actually catches up on my stream, because I'm watching on my phone so I can see when things click over. Raptor. Yeah, so it does pop up, that's good. Now, some of them are going to be free, which my favourite price, so let's have a look for that one. And then, why have I got a feeling that I'm going to find a load of things that I want instead of a raptor, and not actually find raptors? Oh, not ones that are going to be sufficient. No, that looks poor. That's very poor. This is the problem if you're looking for the free downloads and you're looking for something specific. You might not get exactly what you're looking for. You may end up having to pay for some, if not all. If you're really lucky, you will find the one that you want. If you're lucky. Right, now I'm going to have to turn free off, aren't I? It's not going to find one that's free for me. Not to the quality that I would like it to be at. I'm certainly not spending £5 on an... Although... Could be worth it. That says Mega Raptor. What's so mega about it? It is a bit of a big guy, but it doesn't look so mega to me. Troll Hunter on a Raptor. But I don't want the Troll Hunter on the Raptor, I just want the Raptor. See? They don't help. They don't help. Oh, they're nice. They did look quite pretty. Nope. That's expensive for an STL, for a digital file. That is very expensive. Oh, wow. Lizard men, white rap. I'm not doing lizard men, though. I don't want lizard men. I just want the raptors. But I don't want them all to look the same. So I need, as I said, I need a set of 3. And all this is while I'm waiting for paint to dry. What is that? No. No. But I do need some kind of actual. My Manufactory. My Manufactory is the other one. Good point. So let's go to. Let's try My Mini. My Manufactory. Now I don't know if this is going to change over on the. I'm going to have to go check that now, aren't I? Yeah, there we go. It has. It has. Raptor. $577 designs for Raptors. Now that looks like a nice little. Ooh, but the. So the Raptors do come in parts on that one. That's not bad. But they're still trying to charge me like £6 for it. Filters. Explore more categories and price. Show only 3 designs. Thank you very much. Now let's see where we get up to. Soaring Raptor. Nope. Weird Raptor hold. Don't know what that's going on there, but somebody needs to get a life. No, that was not many at all on Thingiverse, was it? No, this is My Manufacturer, and I want Thingiverse next. Thingiverse. Go away. You're not allowed anything. Raptor. Filters. Alright, well, they don't do a price option, apparently. You can't look for just free ones. You only get whatever list they've got. Not exactly ideal for me, but it's better than just having nothing, I suppose. Why they're showing me shoes, I don't know. And they're showing me planes, and they're showing me gun turrets, and they're showing me all sorts of other stuff. That is not a Raptor. Or at least not a Raptor in the way that I would like it to be. Oh, Thingiverse is mostly free stuff. Right, okay. I should be alright then. How did I miss like... Did I miss like loads of pages then a minute ago? No, I didn't. Oh, I've just been going through them fairly quickly because there's not much per page. See, that's quite nice. It's just not got the texture on the skin. And I would, as I said, ideally a set of 3. If you see anything that you like and you've gone, oh, that was quite interesting while I'm scrolling through looking for these raptors. I went to Cults 3D first, then My Manufacturer, and now Thingiverse is the last one. So feel free to go looking around yourselves for any STLs or files that you want. Again, just to put it out there, Rogues Den Hobbies do a custom 3D printing service. If you have files, you can send them and they'll give you a quote on how much it will cost to print out. And then you can say yay or nay from there. And obviously if they give you a quote that you're happy with, you say yay and they'll print them out and send them to you. In quite high quality resin, I must say. It is nice quality resin. Even if I have managed to snap a few pieces. But that's me being an idiot more than anything else. I'm not finding much in the way of a raptor that I'm happy with, am I? Oh, is that a set of 3 raptors? Oh, that's how it does it. Right, okay. That does not look like a... Ah! No! Clicked on something I wasn't supposed to. Go off. Yeah, that did not look well. That did not look right. Not smooth enough. Not... There is a lot of pages on this one. Nobody told me there was this many pages on Thingiverse. This is a lot, isn't it? This is... But still, none of them quite right. No, I can't. I can't actually get a bike. The Velociraptor's not allowed to... the Raptor's not allowed to have wheels. It's replacing a... there. Jet bike. Can't remember what they were called then. 15 of the bloody things, and I can't remember what they were called. But it seems we're heading. Ooh. That's somebody who's got 2 models free, but he's got to charge you for the rest. Right, okay. If anyone else has an idea of where to get these from, or already has a Raptor, see, too angular. It's not. That is nowhere near smooth enough. That one set of riders earlier was probably the closest one. But the riders... I don't want the riders. I know, I'm very fussy, aren't I? I'm very fussy for someone who likes to price free. Some might say I'm a little too fussy. They're probably right. And I'm not getting raptors anymore, I'm getting birds and God knows what else. Oh no, there's a raptor, but that looks like it's a raptor that's had something go wrong with it. Definitely had something go wrong with that one. How many pages have I got to go through on this? $215. I'm not sitting here all night going through 215 pages, people. Don't worry. What I am going to do is I'm going to write it off as a I've not managed to find one yet. And then we can go from there with it. How well are you drying? Not very well. I'm still getting paint from underneath. And I can still see wet paint here across the top. Yeah. That didn't sound right, did it? Sorry about that. I could just Google Raptor STL. Shall we just Google Raptor STL? And it takes us straight to Colts on that one. Yegi is another one, which I've not heard of before. Or at least I don't think so. How are some of them raptors? I don't. That's T-Rex. It says Velociraptor. It is not a Velociraptor. It is a T-Rex with a saddle. But it's saying it's what? Model size X is 1, Y is 0.326 and Z is 0.541. Published today. But it is a £4 download. There are not too many actually. Let's try Yegi this time. Let's not try Yegi because he's going to make me try and click stuff. That was the same one for a moment ago. Nope, we don't want to accept any of those. You are not using any of my information for your sales reports. Go away. Confirm choices, thank you. Now again, there's lots of places that have done dinosaurs, but not so many that have done good ones. So yeah, not many that have actually done good ones. Why have I got a feeling what I want to do is not going to be easily done? Not that I ever choose anything the easy way, I know, but this one seems to be extra hard and more difficult than usual. Just finding the right model. Nope. I am not having... Yegi's like a search engine for STLs. That'll be why it sent me to a few of the others that I'd already seen then. Well, that's not good. No, I've not been able to find any yet, but I've not been looking around too much. I'll do that off air and where I've got a bit more time, and obviously you're not waiting for me to look through files upon files upon files upon files upon files just to find one that I'm happy with. Because I'm a fussy self, we've already discovered this. Right. We have been here now for just over an hour. Usually by this point, somebody needs a drink, somebody needs to use the toilet, and somebody's got to go answer the door. Sometimes it's all the same person doing all of them. Sometimes it's not. However, in this case, I'm the one who needs a drink. So what I shall do is I shall put the break screen up. So please, if you see people coming in and they're not sure what's going on, it's a break screen, not an end screen. But please remember that this also counts towards you getting a discount from Rogues Den Hobbies. So there is a code of LAS10 to use at checkout. It's going to pop up on screen. If you go to Rogues Den Hobbies and you do get something, please use that code, because it saves you money. That's an awesome idea. I shall be back soon after I've made this drink, and I look forward to seeing you all then. See you. Don't forget, go put your kettle on, go do your whatever you need to do, and we'll all see each other back here in a moment. Thank you, Graham. No audio. No audio. That does help. So yes, it's mostly dry. A little bit of wet paint still underneath, and there's little bits where the red's not gone through completely. I can touch that up with a brush later. That's not too bad. But it is taking a while for this to dry. It is taking a while. So while we're waiting for that to dry, let's try and position these pieces. Let's see how I want them to be. So I'd like it to be coming right from the back of it, ideally. Right from the nape of his neck. So we get this little thing back. Just checking it had all finished what Sparkles was watching. She was watching Formula 1 after she'd watched the EMA Celebrity. Now she's watched them both. So again, pop a little super glue in there, and then I can dab the two ends in and stick it in place. Dip that end in there. Dip that end in there. And then, if we can, we get a nice connection around there. And then, hopefully that holds that in place. Again, just a little dab on the end of that one. Dab on the end of that one. That bit coming through around there. And then the last bit, which isn't actually going to be attached at both ends, it's only going to be attached at one. Probably should have put this around the other side, really. But then we have three. I should be able to pick this up to a certain degree. So now we have three arcs of energy branching towards the focal point of the gun, as well as the back and the head of the Triceratops. So it's roughly what it's going to look like when it's finished, just not painted yet. And certain areas we do want to brighten up. So we're going to use a little bit of the old dry brushing technique. So we need the ivory despot. Which I can't go without. I can't be without my ivory despot, can I? Then I need some kind of palette, which I think I have over on the table here. Yes, I do. I have some kind of palette on my table here. But I have two kinds of palettes. Well, same one, but twice. So I have a dry palette. And I have my ivory paint. Just flush out a little bit of ivory. A little bit. And then go find my dry brush. Which, because I want to be small and precise, I'm going to use a small dry brush. Just dampen it a little bit. Tiny bit of paint on the brush. Rub the majority of it off till you're happy with it, and it's not leaving lots on. And then we just try and bring out some of the skin textures, some of the cloaks, just concentrating mostly on the higher places. So down the back of his tail, across the top of his legs. Don't want to go too far onto it, but we want to make sure that we've got a fair old coverage. So hopefully this dry brush will help cover up some of the red. And bring out some of that extra detail across the cloaks. For the ones that have got more of a leathery. There you go, the skin tones are starting to come back out a little bit more now. Well, the skin texture, should I say. Not skin tones, I've not put any colour on it yet, have I? In fact, I've not actually decided on a colour for this yet. But we do wish to get certain areas brightened up. And some areas can stay dull, particularly the undersides and anything underneath the cloak. Can all stay dulled out. But the high edges across like the back of his this bit here, I can't remember what it's called, basically the big shield behind his head. That bit needs covering, his face needs covering, his shoulders need catching. As well as the back of this section. Again, just to give us the light values that we'd like. Just to give us the light values that we want. So we know where's going to be brighter, where's going to be dull. And then we can paint it up from there afterwards. He's not looking too bad, is he? I mean, for a complete amateur, which is what I am. Please don't get me confused with one of them people who go, I'm a professional painter. I'm not one of them. I'm an amateur, complete and utter. Oh, please bear that in mind. When you're thinking, I've seen that guy do something so far better, you probably would have. They've all had more practice than I have. They all have good vision and skills and techniques. I'm still learning. Mainly because I forget what I've learned and then have to go back and relearn it, but I'm still learning. So now while I'm looking at it from essentially where the light is coming from, you son of a... One bit always breaks off, doesn't it? Can never just do it right. Can never just be nice to me. One bit always has to break off. And get down over his feet and his toes. Again, get... Fine, I'll glue you in afterwards then. And I'm going to pin you if I have to. Are you coming off as well? Yep, you're coming off as well. Right. So we've at least seen what's going to go on there, even if it's not gone on quite right yet. So we have the start of what is going to be the Triceratops fire prism. It's looking a lot better now it's all one colour. Well, ish. I'm just realised I'm going to have to go back in and actually manually brush paint this thing, aren't I? Okay. We'll go in and do it manually. Because we have to. Paint on the palette, please. Mr. Paintman. And a brush that will paint a largish area quite. Let's just go with the brush we've just been using. He's got to be cleaned up anyway, so we're just going to go with that. Now, where have I seen lots of red areas? Sorry about the close-up on my face there. Oh, I thought there was some. Never mind. So, up under there is still some red, still in there. Down in the neck area, around here, it missed a bit. Again, it ran off down underneath his legs. That's where it just flowed and didn't stick. Probably could have done with giving it a bit of a scuff up first, just to try and help it. Bit late now, which is why we're coming back in with a brush. Just to make sure all those undersides and all those legs are covered properly. Not too bothered about the feet, the bottom of the feet, because they're going to be on the table most of the time. But anywhere that's going to be showing up, or you'll be able to see from the tabletop, we'll try and get that done. Again, there's little bits within the crevices there. It does take a lot to make sure you get these right. You have to put a bit of dedication into it. You never know when you're going to miss a bit and have to go back and do half your bloody work again. Which I think I'm okay now. Now that I've managed to get that in. Oh, there we go, there's a bit more on the backs of his legs. So there's always bits that you have to miss and you always double check. There we go. Okay, diddles. I believe we now have a Triceratops fire prism almost ready to go. Almost. Now I've just got to find the right colours. Now remember rightly, my Eldar are going to be dark grey blue and orange. If I remember rightly, which is quite possible I don't. Highly possible I don't. But you never know. I might actually remember for a change. So if we're gonna go with dark orange, dark blue for any of the panely bits, and then hopefully kind of saborite green and build it out into white for the actual crystal bits that are gonna be the fire prism. So where do we want to start with orange? I kind of think we want to start brown. Or maybe red. Don't want to go too dark into corn red. So how about we start with Evil Sun's Scarlet instead. And then we do a lot of dry brushing on the way up. I've got an idea of what I mean. Hopefully when you see it in a moment, you'll get it as well, and we'll all be like, oh, right, okay, yeah, now we get it. We understand. If not, then hopefully by the time I finish the model, then it might be a little bit more apparent. But until that, we'll just have to wait and find out how good of a job I've actually done with this chap. I don't want to grab that too much because most of it's going to be wanting to done red first. And I know I've just covered him all up from red, and now I'm painting him red again. But this way I actually have control over the colour that goes on and how much. Then from here I can brush it up into an orange where I need it to be brighter. And keep it very dark underneath if I need to. Turn him round. I've got loads of paint on my hand, more than I actually need. Come down and try and get all the places that I dry brushed ivory earlier. Just because those will be catching the light more than any other part. So that's the bit where it'll be showing more. I hope I have got audio now anyway, and Graham's not told me since, so I'm going to guess I've got audio. He told me once, I took the hint, I sorted it, I hope. And that means you can all hear me happily and we're good to carry on. Oh, Graham, if you are still in here, mate, there is one quick question. Will it be you and the missus coming, or will it be you, the missus, and kids coming? Just, I think you've already told me, but I can't remember the answer you said, so I just want to double check. Obviously, if it's you, missus, and kids, then there's obviously going to be limitations to what you can and can't do as to fitting people into your car. Yep, you can hear. Excellent. Awesome. Just you. Just you. No missus, no kids. You getting a night off? Ooh. This is a new plan. This is a new plan. We just have Graham. Ha ha ha. That has a whole different spin to things, that does. A whole different spin to things. Right. So that should be the nice. I see the toning on that skin now is quite. I like that. I do like that. Now I've got to get into some of the paints where it's places where it's still a bit wet, because I had to, as we've noticed a moment ago, I had to paint over it again just to get the areas that I missed. But as an overall, I'm quite happy with the colour and how it's turning out so far. The only thing I'm not happy about is the fact that I'm going to have to leave it to the next bloody week to carry on, because it's taking ages to dry. I swear to God, it is the bane of my life, is drying times. I mean, I've sat waiting for one set of it to dry already tonight. I don't particularly wish to sit here waiting for all of it to dry every time. So I will carry on next week with this one. Well, that is the good section of it done now. So we now actually have where the is actually going to be firing from, which is obviously here. And we've got the pieces that we're going to be adding to it. And then I've just got to paint these up into the right bluey section, bluey colour, which I can't remember where the blue is. Oops. I really should have dug that out, so then I could have done more work, really. But I'm not going to lie, I wasn't even ready like 20 minutes before this started, so I'm not going to pretend that I was in any kind of condition and prepped order, because I wasn't. I know I wasn't. It was just me being late, as usual. So now I need Sabarite green, just so I can paint in the crystal, which does need a smaller brush, a much smaller brush. Right, so Graham, we definitely need to have a chat then regarding what's happening. And obviously find out what Mr. Walker wishes to do. Now, luckily, because of all the dints and the imperfections from the tinfoil and the filler, when I wash this crystal, it should get, well, wash what would be the crystal, I suppose. It's not actually a crystal, is it? It's tinfoil and filler. But once I actually wash it, it should go drop into the recesses and give me some kind of texture effect, so I can dry brush over it. Now, holding it up like this is not the ideal way to paint it, just so you know. It's not what you really want to do. You like to have it flat, really. But I want to make sure it's visible on camera and people can see what I'm painting and doing. So I do hold it up a little bit just to make sure. Yeah, that's kind of why I need to have a chat with you and Mr. Walker. So all three of us, I believe both of us, I think along the same lines of, right, okay, we need to think about logistics. Now, Mr. Walker's partner is coming, I believe, but he's working at least partially while he's there. So I hope you and his missus get on, because I've got a feeling she may be tagging on to you for a bit, just because you might be the only person she knows. But that is the exact reason why I need to have chats with you for hotels, things like that. So that is going to be the colour of the green prism coming out the front of him. It's now visible a little bit more. I do like putting reds and greens together sometimes. Not all the time, because it usually reminds me of Christmas. But if you get the right colours, it can look alright. The right shades of each one, and it should look okay. Righty-ho, so we have our blocked in colours to a degree. We know the main body is going to be red and orange. We know the crystal is going to be green, and we know this is going to be very, very, very dark blue. Very, very, very dark blue. Almost grey. That is excellent. That's sorted then. Neither one of these likes Stunty Worm. So you can sit there and badmouth him, and if you want any colourful ways to say it, there'll be people around you can go and ask. There'll be quite a few people. They won't even need to know who he is. They just go, "There's a person we don't like. He goes by this name. Can you think of any way to insult him?" and you'll get a plethora. You will get bombarded with stuff that you didn't even think you would get. There's going to be lots of people there. Some of them far wittier and clever on this part than me. And I came up with Stunty Worm. So it should be alright. It should be okay. This is now getting to the 2-hour mark. Yes, it is getting to the 2-hour mark. And I still do not have fully dry paint. No. So during the next week, I'm going to think about what colour to do the horns, as well as a few other accent colours that I'm going to need to put on, obviously the cloaks, the weapons, etc. So over the next week, I'll have a think about those colours. As I'm bringing this down now, so Wednesday, and I missed last week. I didn't miss it. I got the magazine. I've got it, so I do have the last week's issue. I'm going to pick up this week's issue as well because it's a 2-parter. So this Wednesday I'll be doing a double stream. I'll be doing one stream where I put the models together in the morning, as I normally would. But I'm going to leave all the reading until later on in the evening. And then I can do both magazines' reading sections. And they cover usually they have some kind of mission at the end on each one, so I can cover both of them in the evening. Thursday, of course, Magical World of Sparkles and Oaks. You've seen me do some of the filling. So hopefully that's all going to be dry so I can paint and stain all that and then put the grass tufts in and I can work on getting that level of the floor done. Start working on more characters and then final level and the final set of characters. We are getting there. We only have about 4 weeks left though till the end of the year. So we're going to try and get as much done as we can on that project in those 4 weeks. Fingers crossed anyway. Fingers crossed. We're going to get lots done. Oh, my hand's covered in all sorts at the minute. I'm going to have to go clean all this off. So, Thursday, Magical World Sparkles as normal. Hopefully I'm going to try and get some more work done. And I'm not going to be too bad. This little chap, I'm still waiting for drying time. That is what I'm waiting for at the moment. I'm waiting for him to dry so I can actually finish painting him. So he should be dry by next week so I can actually paint him properly. That's all going to be good and awesome. So I'm going to leave you all here. Thank you very much for coming to join me. As Graham said earlier, please, if you have enjoyed any of this or if you want to come back and catch me because you've missed most of it, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, likes, comments. Do all the YouTube algorithm stuff because Al is a pain in the backside and doesn't like me, so please help. And I will look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday. Please drive safe, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.